The Silent Revolution. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the window of Horizon Laboratories' underground facility, watching quantum particles dance in the containment field. 20 years had passed since the celestial Concordat ships appeared in Earth's skies, offering protection and guidance to humanity. Their arrival had been celebrated as humanity's first contact with advanced alien civilization. Now, Sarah knew better. The quantum alignment is holding at 99.8% efficiency, announced Dr. James Rodriguez, his dark eyes fixed on the holographic display. The AI integration is perfect. He glanced at Sarah, a hint of pride in his expression. They never imagined we'd achieve this level of technology under their nose. The Concordat had established research restrictions on Earth, claiming to protect humanity from technological advancement too rapid for their own good. They installed monitoring stations in every major city, watching humanity's progress with apparent benevolence. But they hadn't counted on human ingenuity or our capacity for subtle rebellion. Deep beneath the Atacama Desert, the Horizon Project represented humanity's secret leap forward. Quantum computing merged with artificial intelligence in ways the Concordat had deemed impossible for younger species. Sarah's team had proven them wrong, but they couldn't celebrate their victory. Not yet. "Admiral Hayes is here," announced Lieutenant Maya Patel, entering the control room. Admiral Elena Hayes commanded Earth's clandestine defense initiative, orchestrating humanity's preparation for independence from the shadows. Hayes entered wearing civilian clothes, her military bearing carefully concealed. "Show me," she said simply. Sarah nodded to Rodriguez, who initiated the demonstration. The quantum field pulsed, and within it, complex mathematical calculations began solving themselves at speeds that would have seemed impossible just years ago. But the true breakthrough wasn't the computing power, it was what they planned to do with it. "The Concordat ships use quantum-based shields," Sarah explained. "Our eye has mapped their frequency patterns. With this system, we can create disruption fields that will render their defensive technology useless." Hayes studied the data scrolling across the screens. "And they have no idea we've achieved this level of advancement. Their monitoring systems can only detect what they're programmed to look for," Rodriguez replied. "We've kept everything compartmentalized, using their own assumptions about human capabilities against them." A message flashed across Sarah's neural implant. Another innovation developed in secret. The weekly Concordat inspection of Earth's approved research facilities would begin in 3 hours. They'd hide their true work behind carefully constructed facades of appropriate technological progress. "We've identified 14 other species under Concordat protection," Hayes said, bringing up a galactic map. "Most have been restricted for centuries. The Concordat claims they're not ready for advanced space travel, but our probes have detected resource extraction operations in their systems." Sarah had seen the evidence herself. The Concordat wasn't protecting younger species. They were maintaining a hierarchy of control, preventing potential competitors from emerging while exploiting restricted space. "How close are we to full implementation?" Hayes asked. 3 months, Sarah replied. "We need to finish testing the quantum disruption fields and complete the neural network integration across all defense platforms. After that, humanity will have the capability to challenge Concordat control directly." Hayes nodded slowly. "Keep working. Earth's government will continue playing the role of grateful students while we prepare. The Concordat believes they're guiding our development. They don't realize they're witnessing our revolution." As Hayes left, Sarah returned to the quantum containment field. Humanity had learned to walk among the stars under the Concordat's watchful eye, but they had never learned to kneel. In 3 months, the galaxy would discover what happened when humans decided to stand. Rodriguez appeared beside her, his voice low. "The latest simulations show a 92% success rate for the disruption fields. We're almost ready." Sarah nodded, watching the quantum particles dance. Soon, those particles would help humanity break free from their gilded cage. The Concordat had made one crucial mistake. They had underestimated the human spirit. When humans decided something was worth fighting for, nothing could stop them. In labs and secret facilities across Earth, thousands of scientists and engineers worked toward the same goal. The silent revolution was nearly complete. Humanity wouldn't ask for permission to take its place among the stars. They would simply rise, united in purpose, and show the galaxy what Earth's children could achieve. The quantum field pulsed with promise, each particle a tiny symbol of humanity's defiance. In 3 months, everything would change. The Concordat would learn that protecting humanity had been unnecessary, and trying to control them had been their greatest mistake. Breaking the chains. The Concordat's embassy gleamed in the morning sun, its crystalline towers stretching toward the sky above Geneva. Ambassador Vexterra of the Concordat stood at its apex, watching Earth's cities spread out below. Humans scurried about their daily lives, seemingly content under the Concordat's guidance. The reports on his desk showed appropriate levels of technological advancement. Nothing concerning, nothing unexpected. The first warning came as a flicker in the embassy's quantum communications array. Vexterra's sensory tendrils twitched in mild annoyance as the system reset itself. Then every screen in the embassy went dark. In orbit, Earth's defense platforms suddenly activated, their signatures changing as hidden systems came online. Admiral Elena Hayes stood on the bridge of the EDS Defiant, humanity's first true warship, as it emerged from its camouflage dock beneath the Pacific Ocean. "All quantum disruption fields are active," reported Captain Sarah Chen, now serving as the ship's chief science officer. "Concordat communications are blocked across the solar system." Hayes allowed herself a small smile. "Send the message." Across Earth, hidden facilities revealed themselves. Quantum-powered shields flickered to life around major cities. Weapon systems, developed in secret, emerged from underground bunkers and mountain bases. Humanity's mask of compliance fell away. In the Geneva embassy, Vexterra watched in disbelief as humans shed their carefully maintained image of technological inferiority. "Impossible," he whispered, his translator struggling with his agitated speech patterns. "They couldn't have developed this level of technology. We monitored everything." The holographic projection of Admiral Hayes appeared in embassy buildings across Earth. "Representatives of the Celestial Concordat, for 20 years you have claimed to protect and guide humanity. Today that pretense ends. We have discovered the truth about your protection, how you restrict species development while exploiting their resources, how you maintain power through controlled technological advancement." Vexterra's skin paled as he realized the full scope of human deception. They hadn't just developed restricted technology. They had completely circumvented Concordat monitoring systems. His urgent communications to the Concordat fleet met only silence, blocked by human quantum disruption fields. "We do not seek conflict," Hayes continued, her voice carried across the planet. "But humanity will no longer accept restrictions on our development. We have disabled your monitoring systems and neutralized your ability to prevent our ships from leaving the solar system. You have 1 standard day to withdraw your personnel from Earth." In orbit, the Defiant sensors detected Concordat ships attempting to power up their weapon systems. The quantum disruption fields rendered their most advanced technology useless, reducing them to basic capabilities that matched humanity's publicly displayed level of advancement. "Multiple Concordat vessels approaching," reported Lieutenant Commander Mayapotul from Tactical. "They're trying to establish a blockade formation." "Show them what we can do," Hayes ordered. Tactical Pattern Alpha. The Defiant moved with impossible speed, its quantum-enhanced engines leaving confused Concordat sensors in its wake. More human ships emerged from hidden docks across the solar system, each demonstrating capabilities that should have been centuries beyond Earth's technology level. In his embassy office, Vexterra received a direct communication from Hayes. "Your ships are neutralized, Ambassador. We could destroy them, but that's not our way. Humanity offers peace, but as equals, not subjects. The choice is yours." Hours later, as Concordat personnel evacuated their embassy, Dr. James Rodriguez stood beside Sarah on the Defiant's observation deck. 20 years of preparation, all for this moment, he said quietly. "Do you think they'll retaliate?" Sarah watched Earth's first line of defense ships take up formation. "They'll try, but they built their power on the assumption that younger species would develop along predictable paths. They never considered that we might leap forward in ways they didn't expect." The Concordat ships retreated beyond lunar orbit, their crews struggling with systems compromised by human quantum interference. They had come expecting to maintain control over a developing species. They departed knowing they had vastly underestimated humanity's potential. As the last Concordat ship disappeared into faster-than-light travel, Hayes addressed her crew. "This is only the beginning. The Concordat won't accept this challenge to their authority easily, but humanity has something they don't understand, an unshakable determination to forge our own path among the stars." Sarah touched the quantum processor core she always carried, a reminder of humanity's secret revolution. "They thought they were protecting us from advancing too quickly," she mused. "Instead, they gave us the motivation to exceed every limitation they placed on us." The Defiant's quantum engines hummed with power as Earth prepared for the Concordat's inevitable response. But for the first time in 20 years, humanity stood free of external control. They had broken their chains not through brute force, but through innovation, patience, and the uniquely human ability to surpass expectations. As the sun set over Earth, millions celebrated their first taste of true independence. The Concordat would return, but they would find a very different humanity waiting for them, one that had learned to combine technological brilliance with unshakable resolve. The age of restrictions was over. The age of human achievement had begun. The price of freedom. The asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter concealed the EDS Defiant as its crew monitored the approaching Concordat battle fleet. 2 months had passed since Earth's declaration of independence, and the response had finally arrived. 15 capital ships accompanied by dozens of smaller vessels. Admiral Hayes studied the tactical display, her expression grim. Earth's quantum disruption technology would neutralize many of the Concordat's advantages, but they still faced overwhelming numbers. Status of the Helios Defense Network. "All stations reporting ready," Sarah Chen answered, her fingers dancing across the quantum interface. "The solar-powered quantum arrays are fully charged. If they enter the kill zone, we can disable their entire fleet." But Hayes knew the Concordat wouldn't make it that easy. Their initial shock at humanity's technological leap had given Earth precious time to prepare, but now they faced an enemy who had ruled the galaxy for millennia. The ship's AI registered an incoming transmission. A holographic figure materialized, tall, ethereal, with crystalline features that reflected light in hypnotic patterns. High Commander Zextal of the Concordat spoke with carefully measured words. "You have violated the natural order of species development," he declared. "Your premature advancement threatens the stability of an entire sector. Surrender your quantum technology, return to accepted development protocols, and we will show mercy." Hayes met the alien's gaze. "We discovered what you hide from developing worlds, Commander. The resource extraction operations in restricted space. The suppression of species that show too much potential. Humanity will not submit to your version of order." The transmission ended. Moments later, the Concordat fleet began its advance toward Earth. But before either side could engage, new signals appeared at the edge of the solar system. "Multiple ships emerging from FTL," reported Lieutenant Commander Pottle. "Configuration unknown. They're not Concordat designs." The unknown vessels accelerated into the solar system, sleek, organic-looking ships that moved with incredible grace. Their leader transmitted on all frequencies, translating into multiple languages. "We are the Nexus," a melodious voice announced. "Like humanity, we broke free from Concordat control. We offer alliance against our common oppressor." The Nexus, they learned, had developed in secret for centuries. Their biological technology had evolved along paths the Concordat never monitored, creating capabilities that rivaled quantum science. They had watched and waited, hoping another species would have the courage to challenge the established order. Hours later, Representatives from Earth and the Nexus met aboard the Defiant. The Nexus ambassador, a being of swirling colors and fluid grace named Lyra, shared their story. The Concordat believes they protect younger species from self-destruction, Lyra explained. But their true fear is diversity, species developing along unexpected paths, creating technologies they cannot control. Your quantum breakthrough proved their system can be beaten. How many others? Hayes asked. At least 30 species suffer under Concordat restrictions. Most have hidden their true capabilities, waiting for an opportunity. Your defiance has given them hope. Already, we receive signals from others ready to stand against the Concordat's authority. Sarah studied the Nexus biotechnology with fascination. Your advances could complement our quantum systems. Together, we cooled. Alarms blared. The Concordat fleet had launched its attack, but not at Earth's defenses. Their weapons targeted the asteroid belt, destroying millions of tons of rock and ice. They're creating debris fields, Paddle reported, trying to force our ships into predictable avoidance patterns. Hayes watched the tactical display as chunks of asteroid hurtled toward Earth's defense grid. The Concordat had centuries of battle experience. They wouldn't fall easily for humanity's technological tricks. All ships, execute Protocol Omega, Hayes commanded. Coordinate with Nexus vessels. Show them why humanity doesn't ask permission to be free. The battle that followed would be remembered for generations. Human quantum technology merged with Nexus bioships, creating defensive strategies the Concordat had never encountered. When they couldn't overcome Earth's disruption fields, the Concordat ships launched swarms of automated weapons, only to watch them reprogrammed mid-flight by human AI systems. But victory came at a cost. 3 Earth cities suffered damage from asteroid impacts. The quantum defense grid drained power from half the planet. The Defiant lost its port hull section to a Concordat gravity weapon. As the battle raged, more ships appeared. Representatives from other restricted species, drawn by humanity's example. Each brought their own hidden technologies, their own determination to break free from Concordat control. They thought limiting our development would keep us weak, Sarah said, watching the combined fleet drive the Concordat back. Instead, they created a galaxy of species who learned to advance in ways they never imagined. The Concordat fleet retreated, but Hayes knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy's power structure had shifted fundamentally. Humanity had not only broken free, they had sparked a revolution that would reshape civilization itself. Aboard the damaged Defiant, Earth's leaders met with representatives from 24 species. Each had developed in secret, each had suffered under Concordat restrictions, and each now stood ready to fight for true independence. Hayes looked out at the assembled aliens, some biological, some mechanical, some defying easy classification. Humanity had hoped to claim its place among the stars. Instead, they had helped create a new coalition of free species, united by their determination to choose their own path of development. The price of freedom had been high, but as Hayes surveyed their new allies, she knew it had been worth every sacrifice. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what humanity had intended. United we rise. Deep in interstellar space, aboard the newly constructed Alliance Station Unity, representatives from 27 formerly restricted species gathered in the Grand Chamber. The station itself was a testament to their combined technological prowess. Quantum cores from Earth working in harmony with Nexus bioarchitecture and innovations from dozens of other civilizations. Admiral Hayes stood at the speaking platform, surrounded by holographic displays showing Concordat fleet movements across the galaxy. In the past 6 months, 17 more worlds have broken free from Concordat control. Our combined forces have secured 3 major sectors, but the Concordat still holds dominion over 60% of known space. The chamber's adaptive walls shifted, displaying tactical data gathered by Alliance intelligence. Sarah Chen, now Director of Alliance Research and Development, highlighted key strategic points. The Concordat maintained power through isolation, she explained. Each restricted species was led to believe they were unique in their containment. Now that we've broken that illusion, their control systems are failing everywhere. Lyra of the Nexus moved forward, her bioluminescent form pulsing with determination. Our latest breakthrough combines human quantum fields with Nexus neural networks. We can now detect Concordat ships before they exit FTL travel. The Alliance had grown stronger than anyone had imagined possible. The Zenith, silicon-based beings who had hidden their true nature for millennia, provided revolutionary computational systems. The Myriad, a collective of gas giant-dwelling entities, shared their mastery of gravitational manipulation. Each species brought unique perspectives and capabilities that the Concordat had tried to suppress. "We've confirmed reports from the Andromeda sector," reported Commander Rodriguez, his hologram flickering as it transmitted across light years. "The Concordat is abandoning their outer monitoring stations. They're consolidating their forces around their core worlds." A ripple of excitement passed through the chamber. The Concordat, for the first time in recorded history, was on the defensive. But victory remained far from certain. "They still possess technologies we haven't countered," Hayes reminded the assembly, "and their core worlds house research facilities that have operated for thousands of years. We must be prepared for weapons we've never encountered." The station's quantum sensors suddenly pulsed with alarm. A massive Concordat fleet had appeared at the edge of detected space, larger than any they'd previously encountered. Leading it was the Concordat's legendary dreadnought, the Eternal Dominion. Supreme Commander Zextal's transmission reached every ship and station in Alliance space. "Your rebellion ends now. You have corrupted the natural order of species development. The consequences will be severe." The Alliance Council watched as the Concordat fleet deployed a new weapon. Beams of coherent energy twisted space itself, creating artificial wormholes that could bypass all known defenses. "They're targeting Unity Station," Sarah announced, her hands flying over control surfaces. "Standard shields won't stop this." But the Alliance had learned to think beyond standard responses. The Myriad representatives merged their consciousness, extending their gravitational control throughout the station. Zenith quantum processors calculated exit vectors for the artificial wormholes. Human AI systems adapted faster than any organic mind could process. "Activate the Harmony Protocol," Hayes ordered. Unity Station's hybrid systems engage. Quantum fields merged with bioneural networks and gravitational manipulators. The Concordat's wormholes opened and found their energy redirected, twisted, and reformed by the combined technology of 27 species working in perfect synchronization. "Impossible," Zextal's voice crackled with disbelief. "No single species could counter this weapon." "We are not a single species," Hayes replied. "You taught us all to hide our developments, to advance in secret. Now you face the combined innovation of every world you try to contain. The age of restriction is over." The battle that followed demonstrated why the Concordat had feared unrestricted species development. Alliance ships moved with impossible coordination, each race's technology complementing the others. When the Concordat deployed quantum disruptors, Nexus bioships provided alternate control systems. When they launched gravity weapons, the Myriad turned the attacks back on them. The Eternal Dominion pressed its attack, its ancient weapons bringing devastation to both sides. But for every Alliance ship lost, 2 more took its place, smaller species adding their strength to the collective defense of freedom. Sarah worked with her multi-species research team, analyzing the Concordat's weapons in real time. "Their technology is impressive," she admitted, "but it's stagnant. They haven't truly innovated in centuries. They've only refined what they already knew." That was the Concordat's fatal flaw. In their quest to control species development, they had forgotten how to adapt. The Alliance, born from centuries of hidden advancement and secret innovation, represented evolution itself. Unity Station's combined defenses held firm. The Concordat fleet, for the first time in its history, was forced to retreat from a direct confrontation. But this victory marked only the beginning of a larger campaign. As debris from the battle cooled in space, the Alliance Council reconvened. Hayes looked out at the assembled representatives. Beings of flesh, energy, silicon, and forms beyond easy classification. Each had brought their own dreams of freedom. Together, they had made those dreams real. The Concordat believed controlled development was necessary for galactic stability, she said. We've proven that true stability comes from cooperation, from celebrating our differences rather than restricting them. Together, we will forge a new future, one where every species is free to reach their full potential. The Alliance fleet regrouped, preparing for the battles ahead. The Concordat still held significant power, but their aura of invincibility had been shattered. Across the galaxy, more species were choosing to break their chains, adding their strength to the growing alliance. Unity Station's quantum cores pulsed with power, its bioarchitectural surfaces adapting to repair battle damage. In its halls, the children of 1,000 worlds worked together, proving that the greatest force in the universe was not restriction, but the combined will of those who dared to be free. Legacy of Defiance. The Concordat homeworld, Eternum Prime, hung like a jewel in space, its artificial rings glowing with the power of a civilization that had ruled the galaxy for millennia. Before it, the combined fleets of the Alliance stretched across the star system, ships of every size and design, representing species that had hidden their true potential for generations. Admiral Hayes stood on the bridge of the flagship Defiant II, surveying the largest fleet ever assembled in known space. The quantum-enhanced display showed thousands of ships, from Earth's advanced vessels to the living ships of the Nexus, from myriad gravity spheres to zenith crystalline cruisers. The Concordat has rejected our final offer for peaceful transition, Sarah Chen reported, her neural interface processing data from across the fleet. They've activated their planetary defense grid. Energy readings are off the scale. The past year had seen the Alliance liberate half the galaxy, but the Concordat's grip on their core systems remained absolute. They had withdrawn to their ancient strongholds, activating technologies that had been myths to most species. All command ships are reporting ready, Commander Rodriguez announced. The Harmony network is stable. We're as prepared as we'll ever be. Hayes nodded slowly. Send the message to all ships. Operation Dawn begins now. The Alliance fleet moved forward in perfect coordination. Centuries of suppressed innovation were about to be unleashed against the power that had contained them for so long. The Concordat's response was immediate and devastating. The rings around Eternum Prime pulsed with energy, launching waves of destructive force that could tear ships apart at the quantum level. But the Alliance had planned for this. Activate the Shield of Unity, Hayes ordered. Across the fleet, different technologies merged into something entirely new. Human quantum fields synchronized with Nexus bioshields. Myriad gravitational control combined with zenith energy matrices. The contributions of dozens of species formed a defensive barrier unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. The Concordat's attack scattered against the shield, its energy absorbed and redirected. Supreme Commander Zextal's voice echoed across all frequencies. You prove why restrictions were necessary. Such power was never meant to be wielded by younger races. You never understood, Hayes replied. True power comes not from restriction, but from cooperation. Every species you suppressed found ways to grow stronger. Together, we've surpassed anything you could have controlled. The battle erupted across the star system. The Concordat deployed ancient weapons platforms, automated defense systems that had protected their worlds for eons. Alliance ships moved in formations that seemed chaotic, but followed patterns calculated by their combined AI networks. Sarah worked with her multi-species research team, analyzing each Concordat weapon and finding countermeasures. Their technology is incredible, she admitted, but it's all variations on old themes. They stopped truly innovating when they decided to control rather than explore. The turning point came not from the largest ships or the most powerful weapons, but from an unexpected source. The Whisper, a species that had evolved in gas clouds and had been deemed too primitive for space travel, penetrated the Concordat's communications network. Their natural ability to manipulate quantum states, combined with human encryption technology, let them bypass defenses that had been considered impregnable. "We have control of their network," Rodriguez announced. "Their defense grid is losing coherence." The rings around Eternum Prime flickered as their power was rerouted. Alliance ships pressed forward, not to destroy, but to contain. This wasn't about revenge. It was about ensuring freedom for all species to develop as they chose. In the final moments, as Alliance forces surrounded the Concordat capital, Zextal requested direct communication with Hayes. The Supreme Commander's crystalline form had lost its usual luster. "We only sought to prevent chaos," he said, "to guide species toward stable development." "But stability without freedom is stagnation," Hayes replied. "Look at what we've achieved by working together. This is the future, not control, but cooperation." The surrender of the Concordat marked more than a military victory. It represented a fundamental shift in how species would interact across the galaxy. The Alliance established new principles. All civilizations would be free to develop along their own paths, with cooperation and mutual support replacing restriction and control. 1 year later, Unity Station hosted the first Galactic Congress. Representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered to shape the future they would share. The former Concordat worlds had been integrated, their technology and knowledge now available to all species. Sarah stood with Hayes on the observation deck, watching ships from across the galaxy come and go freely. "Did you ever imagine this when we first started our quantum research on Earth?" Hayes smiled. "Humanity hoped to earn its place among the stars. Instead, we helped create something greater, a galaxy where every species can reach its full potential." In the decades that followed, the Alliance transformed into a thriving civilization of equals. The combined innovation of unrestricted species led to achievements the Concordat had never imagined possible. New forms of faster-than-light travel, clean energy that could power entire worlds, medical advances that benefited all forms of life. But perhaps the greatest legacy was the principle that had started with humanity's defiance. That true greatness comes not from controlling others, but from working together to break any chains that would bind us. Throughout the galaxy, species that had once been restricted now reached for the stars, knowing that their only limits were those they chose to accept. The quantum cores of Unity Station pulsed with power, their energy synchronized with countless other technologies from across known space. In its halls, beings of all forms and origins worked together, proving that the strongest force in the universe was not the power to restrict, but the will to be free. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, new species were emerging, looking up at the stars with wonder. They would find not restrictions and control, but a galaxy of equals ready to welcome them into a future of unlimited potential.